Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Now the news in detail. Brazil rolled out full military honors at the Planalto Palace in Brasilia to receive President Bola Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu with the Brazilian military at the Planalto Palace in Brasilia. Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, disclosed this on X on Monday. Onanuga said Tinubu was welcomed by his host president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The immediate past national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has joined hundreds of Muslims faithful at the Shehu Hassan Gawuna Islamic Center to mark this year's Maulud celebration. The event, held in Kano State, drew religious leaders, scholars, politicians, and community members who gathered to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad. Mukhtar Qasim has details.
Dr. Ganduje, who arrived alongside APC's 2023 governorship candidate in Kano State, Dr. Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna, was warmly received by the congregation. He offered prayers for peace, unity, and continued prosperity in Kano State and Nigeria at large. Religious scholars at the event emphasized the importance of living by the Prophet's teaching, urging the faithful to imbibe values of humility, compassion, and tolerance in their daily lives. The Maulud celebration also featured Quranic recitations, lectures, and special prayers for leaders and citizens across the country. The former governor later paid condolence visits to the families in Bachirawa and Koki, where he offered prayers and sympathized with the bereaved. Ganduje, who was accompanied by party stalwarts and community leaders, offered prayers for the repose of the deceased and extended words of comfort to the bereaved families. He described the visits as a mark of solidarity and compassion, urging the families to take solace in the will of God. Residents appreciated the gesture, saying it reflects Ganduje's continued bond with the people even after leaving office. Mukhtar Qasim reporting for Global Television News.
Now we go over to Benue State, where the Benue State House of Assembly has elected Alfred Berger as its new speaker. He was elected at the emergency meeting following the resignation of former Speaker Alduna Dajo, which was chaired by Lami Danladi Dorcas. Our Benue correspondent Felicity Indere completes this report.
Lawmakers convened an emergency sitting at the Assembly complex in Makurdi, presided over by Deputy Speaker Lami Danladi Lawrence.
Any other nomination?
No.
We hereby declare you as the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Congratulations to you.
The House lifted the suspension on 4 members before moving a motion for the nomination of a new Speaker.
The preceding week, the House was involved in crisis occasioned by attempted change in leadership. That in a bid to contain this crisis, the House suspended 4 of its members to pave way for the peaceful resolution. That the House lift the suspension of the following members to readmit them for legislative duties.
Following nominations, members of the Assembly elected Alfred Mbega, representing Makurdi North, as the new Speaker of the 10th Assembly.
It is therefore my honor to nominate our colleague, Honorable Berger, Alfred Mbega, to the office of the Speaker of the 10th Benue State House of Assembly.
Honorable Alfred Mbega has now been sworn in, with expectations high on how he will steer the Assembly and maintain the delicate balance of cooperation and independence.
The People's Democratic Party has officially confirmed Umar Damagun as its substantive national chairman. At the 102nd National Executive Committee meeting held in Abuja, the party resolved that Damagun who has served as acting national chairman for over 1 year, be elevated to substantive chairman ahead of the National Elective Convention scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, Oyo State. Burkina Faso and Mali did not send representatives to a continental military meeting hosted by Nigeria, as relations between the junta-led Sahel countries and their West Africa neighbors remain tense. Along the Niger, also under military rule, Mali and Burkina Faso withdrew from regional bloc ECOWAS in January after forming their own alliance of Sahel states as the battle long-running jihadist insurgencies. Niger, represented by Embassy Defense Attaché Colonel Major Samana Kalkoye, was the only AES country at the African Defense Chiefs of Staff talks hosted in Nigerian capital, Abuja. The federal government has warned that 9 states and 15 communities across northern regions may experience heavy rainfall that could trigger flooding between August 25 and August 29, 2025. The alert was issued by the Federal Ministry of Environment, National Flood Early Warning Center, and signed by Director of Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department, Usman Abdullahi Bakoli. The advisory says the states and communities likely to be affected include Adamawa State, Bauchi State, Borno State, Gombe State, Jigawa State, Kano State, Katsina State, Sokoto State, and Zamfara State. It further directed residents of communities along the floodplains from Jeba to Lokoja to evacuate immediately as the River Niger's water level continues to rise. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has busted a syndicate linked to the arrest of 3 innocent Nigerian pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. At a press conference in Abuja, agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, says the suspect conspired with airport staffs to secretly tag 6 drug-laden bags in the names of 3 Nigerians who had traveled for Lesser Hajj. Crime correspondent Kikelomo Okere reports.
According to the NDLEA Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, the suspects were apprehended at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, where the group allegedly planted drugs in the luggage of unsuspecting travelers. He says the victim Miriam Hussein Abdullahi, Bahija Aminu Abdullahi, and Abdul Hamid Sadiq were arrested and detained by Saudi authorities following the discovery of the bags.
To unravel the true facts of the cases, the Chairman Chief Executive Officer of the agency caused an investigation to be conducted into the cases, and the following facts were revealed. The bags containing illicit drug substances intercepted in Saudi Arabia were checked in against the complainants' names by members of a criminal syndicate operating in Malam Aminu Kano International Airport without the knowledge of the 3 complainants. All the bags were traced to one Ali Abubakar Mohammed, alias Bello Karama.
Babafemi explained that investigation traced the crime to a 55-year-old drug baron, Mohammed Ali Abubakar, also known as Bello Karama. Several suspects have confessed, with 4 already charged to court. He added that NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, is in contact with Saudi authorities to secure the release of the detained Nigerians. The agency maintained that while it continued to intensify the fight against drug trafficking, it will never allow innocent citizens to be punished for crimes they did not commit.
Above reasons, the 3 complainants were arrested and detained for crimes they had no knowledge of. In the light of the foregoing and the evidence gathered by the agency in the course of our investigation, it is clear that Miriam Abdullahi and 2 others who are being detained in Saudi are victims of circumstance implicated by the activities of a criminal syndicate operating at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makia, Kano. 6 suspected members of this criminal syndicate are already in our custody, with 4 already charged to court awaiting arraignment, while the other 2 would have their charges filed shortly.
It says the Ministry of Aviation and other security agencies are working with NDLEA to block such syndicates from exploiting Nigerian airports again. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
As the world shifts into a digital economy, content creation is becoming a new social capital. While many young Nigerian people are tapping into the opportunity, some still claim they do not fully understand its potential. Ubongo Soro completes this report.
Content creation is fast emerging as the new normal in today's communication and job spaces. From YouTube to TikTok, podcasts and blogs, youth are building careers and influencing industries. Experts say content is now more than entertainment. It has become a tool for empowerment and economic participation.
Because youths are seeing content creation as something that is new business.
Content is helping youth create jobs for themselves, even in spaces where traditional employment is shrinking. It is no longer just about likes and views. Content is the new social capital.
About a large percentage of individuals now are on their devices, their gadgets, right? So we need to accept the fact that content creation is here and here to stay.
I don't think it is so.
With content shaping marketing, advertising, education, and entertainment, stakeholders agree it is gradually redefining the job market. They emphasize that adaptability, creativity, and digital skills are now vital for survival in the modern economy. Ubongo Soro for Global Television.
The Ibadan Zone of Academic Staff Union of Universities has warned against another round of industrial action, saying this might be inevitable if urgent steps are not taken. This warning was issued by the zonal coordinator of the union, Professor Biodun Olanino, at a press conference held at the University of Ibadan, Oyo State. He said the relative peace in Nigerian universities in recent months was largely due to unions' patience and expectation that the government would honor its promises. Moving on. The Nigeria Labour Congress has advised the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission to retreat over its plan to upwardly review the remuneration packages of political office holders. The Commission's chairman, Mohammed Shehu, has recently disclosed that President Bola Tinubu earns 1.5 million naira monthly, while ministers get less than 1 million naira, saying the figures have been like that since 2008. He said it is wrong. However, the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, George Oro, described the move as insensitive, unjust, inequitable, one he said will only succeed in deepening the growing inequality between civil servants and political office holders. The Nigerian Army says it has neutralized 15 terrorists, arrested 42 criminal suspects, and rescued 30 kidnapped victims in a series of recent operations across various regions of the country. The coordinated operations were reportedly carried out in the Northeast, Northwest, North Central, Southwest, and South-South zone. The troops are said to have foiled plans attacks by Islamic State's West Africa province and Boko Haram in Borno and Yobe states, specifically in Dikwa, Goza, Bama, Banki, and Gushba areas. You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, World Aquatic awards prestigious scholarship to 2 Nigerian swimmers. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back if you're just tuning in. This is AM News and Global Television, and now we are in the business news, where online loans have become a quick and convenient fix for millions of people facing financial distress. But how safe are they? As digital lending platforms expand, so do the risks. Our correspondent, Sadia Yakubu, takes a closer look at the promises, the pitfalls, and the real cost of borrowing with just a few clicks.
It's the new phase of borrowing instant cash, no collateral, no paperwork and approval in minutes. For people with poor credit, limited bank access, or urgent needs, online loans are marketed as a lifeline. Most fall under payday or short-term installment loan. The speed is attractive, but the reality often comes with sky-high interest rates, hidden fees, and tight payment deadlines that can trap borrowers in a cycle of debt.
It's good from our side because it's easy to access, you get, so when you can operate, so it's easy to access and easy to pay back.
The rise of unregulated or loosely regulated lenders, especially in developing countries, is raising alarm. Watchdog agencies say complaints about data abuse and harassment are steadily climbing.
Getting a online loan, that loan, even if you don't want to get it, there's this temptation that they will send to you, and you will even be tempted to even get it. So once you enter their trap and you get the loan from them, in fact, you get from the first time you get it, you've already entered into their trap.
Most times the side effects are the interest the bank or the organization puts on the masses or the citizens. Most times they put an interest that people cannot afford and cannot even make up.
Beyond that, some loan apps demand access to personal data, including contacts, messages, and photos, creating a major invasion of privacy. Consumer groups say this data is sometimes misused to shame borrowers into repayment.
Online loans may be a quick solution, but for many, they can become a long-term burden. If you are considering one, research carefully and protect your personal information. I am Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television.
The Rural Electrification Agency has said that many rural communities across Nigeria now enjoy a stable electricity supply through completed mini-grid projects, with some residents paying higher tariffs than Band A customers. Managing Director of the agency, Abba Aliu, made this known during an interview. He explained that the electricity model deployed in rural areas had not only provided reliable supply, but also demonstrated the willingness of rural dwellers to pay for power. And now we go to the foreign scene, where Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has expressed support for Ukraine's calls for security guarantees as part of any peace deal with Russia, including the possibility of deploying troops to Eastern European country. During a visit to Kyiv, where he met with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, Carney said a group of Ukraine Western allies, known as Coalition of the Willing, is working with the United States to bolster Ukrainian defenses. Here is Uyi Apomefebe's report.
Standing alongside President Zelensky, Mark Carney reassured the people of Ukraine of Canada's support in its war with Russia, making clear that Russia's invasion of Ukraine is an attempt at rewriting history and peace will come through strength.
Canada is under no illusions about the importance of your struggle. And you should have no doubts about the commitment of Canadians to your cause. Because your cause, freedom, democracy, sovereignty, is our cause. And your history informs our history. We see this war clearly as a horrific act of aggression, a maniacal quest to recreate a history that itself was filled with injustice. And we know that peace will only come through strength.
Prime Minister Carney stated that the alliance of countries working against what he called Putin's aggression in Ukraine is becoming more effective and united.
But Putin can be stopped. Russia's economy is weakening. He is becoming more isolated. And our alliance is hardening. It's growing more effective, more determined, more united. I applaud the leadership of the transformative U.S. President Donald Trump in creating the possibilities for peace.
With the war already having claimed tens of thousands of lives, hopes for a ceasefire on the ground, however, remain dim as Kyiv and Moscow continue to exchange fire. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
The United Nations Security Council says it is set to vote on a France-drafted resolution that will extend the mandate of the United Nations interim force in Lebanon until August 31, 2026, while preparing for its eventual withdrawal. Deployed in 1978 to separate Israel and Lebanon, the unit has been tasked with maintaining calm in South Lebanon. The latest draft says the Security Council intends to work on withdrawal of the United Nations interim force in Lebanon with the aim of making the Lebanese government the sole provider of security in South Lebanon. The United States has confirmed its first human case of New World screwworm, a parasitic fly whose larvae feed on living flesh. In Maryland, residents recently returned from El Salvador, where an outbreak is ongoing. As reported by Reuters on Sunday, the patient began showing symptoms shortly after returning and was diagnosed on August 4, 2025, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Screwworm larvae literally eat living tissue, which can lead to serious and potentially life-threatening infections if not treated promptly, said CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky. And now we go to sports, where World Aquatics, the global governing body for swimming, has awarded international training scholarships to two of Nigeria's rising stars in the sport, Clinton Opute of Delta State and Collins Ebiga of Bayelsa State. The scholarships, announced as part of World Aquatic Elite Development Program, are designed to provide access to world-class training facilities in Europe and prepare the athletes for major international competitions, including Olympic Games. The program details indicates that Collins Ebiga's scholarship will run from September 1, 2025 to August 31, 2026, while Clinton Opute's training grant will extend from September 1, 2025 until June 30, 2028 in France and Hungary, respectively. Still in sports, Nigeria's Toby Amusan and Favour Philly have officially qualified for the 2025 Wanda Diamond League final, set to take place next weekend at the prestigious Wales meeting in Zurich. Philly, who joined the Diamond League circuit at the 9th stop of the 15-leg series, secured the final qualifying spot in women's 200 meters event. The 21-year-old accumulated 13 points to finish 8th overall, earning her place among the elite field. She now has a chance to make history as only the second Nigerian athlete, after Musen, to win a Diamond League trophy. Nigeria's Women Football League Premiership champions, Bayelsa Queens, opened their campaign in CAF Women's Champions League WAFU B qualifiers with a 2-1 victory over Ghana's Police Ladies at the Stade Charles Konan Bani in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire. Pitted against Ghanaian League champions, the Prosperity Girls did not show any tension dominating proceedings and were not threatened by their opponents for the most part of the encounter. Shakirat Mashoud put Bayelsa Queens ahead in 12th minute from a beautifully planned counter-attack, and MMSN extended the lead with a wonder strike in the 62nd minute. That is it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder, the Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using the handle @GlobalTVNG. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you very much for watching. Good morning.